Assalamu alaikum everybody. Inshallah you're having a good final push in the last 10 days of Ramadan. For those that won't get to see an Eid message from me, Eid Mubarak. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your fasting, your good deeds, and your qiyam, or the late standing prayer throughout this month. And may we come out a little bit better and a little bit stronger than we did before, or than we were before Ramadan. As my teachers used to say, that if you want to figure out if you had a successful Ramadan, look at the person you become after Ramadan is done, and that's how you know for sure that it worked. Now this ending of Ramadan is actually extra special this year because we have a potential total solar eclipse over here in Ontario, or at least we should be able to see almost 90+% of the sun blacked out. Now, I didn't buy those fancy glasses, so does that mean that I'm not going to be able to see the eclipse, which is really a monumental occurrence? Absolutely not. For those that know me know, I would never miss this opportunity to see something like this. So what we're going to have to do is, as Matt Damon once said, science the his out of this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a projection. And to do this, we need the following materials: a ruler to cut straight edges of the paper and the aluminum foil for the light to pass through. We need a shoebox. Now this has a litter box. It's just my son that wrote over it, but this was an old Crocs box. And then a piece of paper where we're going to project an image of the sun. And then the tape is just going to bind everything together. It is also worth mentioning that we're going to need a pencil to poke a hole through the aluminum. Now we start off by cutting two visible holes roughly the same size on opposite ends of the box. One of these holes is going to be meant for viewing the screen that we're going to put with the paper, and the other hole is going to be used to cover with aluminum paper in order to create the pinpoint camera. And the purpose of the pinpoint camera is going to be so that the light from the sun will seep through the hole and it'll project onto the screen inside the blackened box. The white paper, and it must be white for the screen to be the most efficient, is going to be used to create the screen inside the box. We're going to tape it to the opposite side of where the holes are. And if everything goes right, we should see the image of the sun, and as it changes, as the moon moves laterally across it, projected onto this white screen. What we're effectively doing here is creating what we call a pinhole camera, which is the simplest kind of camera. It doesn't have a lens. It just makes use of the tiny little opening that we're going to put inside the aluminum foil here, and takes all the rays that are coming from the object, in our case the sun, and focuses all the light rays with the smallest possible area to obtain an image as clearly as possible. The simple image formed using the pinhole is always going to be inverted. Okay, so it turned out that those holes weren't awake, so I've now patched them up, and hopefully we should see a nice projection when I look through here. And I'm going to bring my phone this time. Okay, bright sunny day. Hopefully it's going to work. I need to have my back to the sun. Now if I can get the sun inside the shot. You can see it right there. Right there it is. So let's see if I can do this here. So I don't know if you can see, it's actually quite dark out here, and I actually got it to kind of work, but it's a very small sliver. So let's see if we can show you here. See, there you go. I don't know if you can see that. But now it's getting thicker because now the sun is going back. Yeah, look at that. See, you can see the little crescent right there. Yay, alhamdulillah. Now I couldn't pull out my phone camera in time, trying to juggle the box of the camera, so I only got a snapshot of this part of the crescent, but you can see here we have an inverse of what everybody else using the goggles was seeing, and we can see the crescent. So alhamdulillah, a little science and some hilariously ghetto-looking apparatuses. You can actually see some of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's wonderful creations, right? And get you to do what the Quran commands, which is to reflect. And what better time to reflect than now, and what better need to reflect than now. More importantly, this is the best time to express our religion in its truest form. And like my teachers used to always tell me, ad-dinu akhlaq, where by the meaning of which religion is character. And so now would be the time to forego any grudges you have against anybody, to right any wrongs that you might have done to somebody else, to see forgiveness from somebody else, to strengthen the bond between you and your parents and your siblings, and first, foremost, strengthen your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by treating those around you in a way that they always feel loved. Lastly, I like to think about Ramadan, as my friend once told me, as the traveler that everybody always loves. When they're entering, right, everybody sits at the airport or the docks or wherever they're receiving their beloved one from, and there's waiting and anticipation, and the minute they see their boat or plane land in the distance, and you get that feeling of excitement, and there's an embrace once they meet, and as if they were never gone, and it just feels right. And then when it's time to go, right, for that same traveler to go back, and they're being brought to the airport, and there's the final kisses and goodbyes and all that stuff, there's that feeling of sadness, and the longing for their return happens. And this is kind of Ramadan to us, right? We're so happy when it comes and we embrace it, and then we're sad to see it go. But until inshallah next year, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to live another Ramadan and hopefully take the best of the lessons that we got from this one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.